Right, okay. I remember what the bonus is. We got to get one of these powder kegs and like go off and blow up a door that's like
Yeah,
off
and
the
then we have to
beaten
go into
path,
this
and then some
cave, and there's
guy's
lots
like,
of bad
"Hey, I've
enemies.
got like intel." No, that's the next one.
That's the next one? Oh.
Yeah, that's the next one.
Am I just a reskinned version of these? I'm just a reskinned version of these guys.
Yes, the candy corn elemental is a reskinned version of the ice golem elemental skin
Well, there you go. You learn something new every day.
that
I am
appears
not
during
actually.
Halloween events.
I've not formed the question in my own mind in so many words, why is Glitch a bunch of candy corn? Which is strange because you would actually assume generally that that would be the thing I would be wondering about.
Oh god, I hate these.
Oh,
I actually think if you were to like
there's a-
transcribe my thoughts with one of those weird sci-fi dog collars, I'd be like, Glitch candy cane? Candy corn. Candy corn. Glitch candy corn? Glitch? Candy corn.
Glitch is gonna get a bomb now. Glitch has a bomb. I'm also gonna get a bomb for
Glitchesthebomb.com.
reasons. That
Why
was
am
not
I
what meant
carrying
to do.
this?
Because you went over and picked it up, motherfucker.
Well. Actually,
I
I
only
only
pick
have
up-
one thing on my bar that requires me to attack. I've only got one thing that's like, hey, you got a sword.
Well, yeah, but your auto attacks are a significant source of DPS.
It's not like there's a boss coming.
I don't remember
Let's
if
go
these
off
things
if I
actually do
it-
damage to enemies. Yes, yes, it will. Let's see. Let's see what happens if I drop this on him. Does it do any damage?
Not gonna have the chance to find.
No. Nope. No, it does not.
God, I hate it.
Fuck. There's a. I believe there's an elementalist ward spell that we could use that would prevent us from getting knocked down, but I'm not sure any of us have access to it, so I'll take a look at that
I like the design of those
when we're in
guys.
the next town. Yeah, they're neat.
I find I don't like the micro design in this game very much. When it comes to individual outfits and like flair and characters and stuff, like I often dislike the thing it is, but I often feel like there's a lot of good ideas that went into it. It's just not like really my brand of strawberry jam for the most part.
What is your brand of strawberry jam? Since we're on the subject.
You know what? I actually don't like jam very much. You got me.
If you had to eat a jam, what kind of jam would you eat?
Traffic jam.
The kind of jam the person who's making me eat jam is providing.
Jam agnostic.
I'm describing a semi-specific scenario here, which I think is the most likely circumstance in which you will eat a jam, which is that someone has made a jam they would like you to try. Generally, I try it and think that it is a very well-made jam. I'm just not later like, damn, I wish I had some of that jam on me very often.
My mother-in-law makes great raspberry jam. You should try it. I'll send you some.
I'm sure I will try it and go like, this is really great
I'm shocked
raspberry
it's not
jam. That may
huckleberry
just be the
jam.
last thought I form about it.
And then you'll think, candy corn? Glitch? Candy corn?
Exactly.
You'll be thinking about that for years.
Still puzzling it out.
Okay, I believe we might be able to stop these things by just killing the guys manning them, or we may have to drop powder kegs on them. And we're knocked down.
At least that knocked down their fucking boss, too. Fuck this guy.
I think Chris might have done that, actually.
Oh. Well, the timing
that's
was
not-
uncanny.
Like, their knockdown shouldn't be knocking down themselves.
Well, he got knocked down
In fact,
right
I
as
believe
we did.
Doliacs are immune to knockdown, now that I think about it.
Well, it was the boss that got knocked down.
Oh yeah, that's right. But yeah, I don't think anybody has a knockdown skill aside from Chris, so... Yeah, okay, they die when we kill the people on them.
They die when they are killed?
Yes. What is that Summit Beastmaster doing back there?
Chilling. Not for...
Oh, no.
I've
You
been
made
thinking
him
of
giant
upgrading to
stomp.
this-
What the fuck?
I've been thinking of upgrading to the Summit Beastmaster. Does anybody else have any, like, mountain bike recommendations?
Okay, I was kind of expecting him to stop back there, but alright. Oh, you know what? I could be interrupting that. I have that skill on my bar that interrupts things that take a long time to cast. What am I doing?
Recording spoiler warning?
Forgiveness isn't something I give to the weak.
What?
Was that one of their war cries?
I just one of our henchmen. Yeah.
Oh.
I just like the idea that Runsgard has like a big list of JRPG villain staple phrases that he will just periodically say without context and without explanation once an episode.
Contradictory phrases. Yeah, no, that was
Wow,
what
I
our
had a
healer
lot of-
said. Man, it raised a lot of questions, really.
Do you think that these guys would ask for forgiveness?
Oh yeah, I think the fact that we were kicking their asses when she happened to say that she has no forgiveness for the weak, that suggests to me that she would not feel particularly forgivable towards them. I would suppose that this NPC is prepared to forgive the bosses, the villains that are behind all of this, basically.
Classic. Forgive the villains, but not the henchmen. The henchmen can die.
Yeah.
Screw all of the stormtroopers on the Death Star. We only care about forgiving
I mean, they're on
You
the
know,
Death Star.
I'll be totally honest.
names, semantic.
It may never actually come up when I would ask her to forgive somebody. You know, I like to think that I'm a pretty limited kind of person, but like I don't see myself in a situation where I'm forgiving somebody. I'm like, I really got to get Alessia on board with this.
Have we ever pronounced her name the same twice?
I hope.
I feel like we've gone through every possible
Allison?
pronunciation.
I like this. This is a neat art asset. I do wish the chains were a little different at each end, that they weren't all the same half cut off chain.
Yeah, they do look pretty samey like that.
But it's cool. It's cool to see them doing neat stuff with the limited resources they have. It kind of looks like a skull.
Hey, this is the bonus. Let's go.
Oh,
let's
well,
go free this dude.
I'll get the...
One thing about you being candy corn is it does make you very easy to find on the screen.
It'll help Chris heal me.
Yeah, very distinctive.
I'll be honest, I'm
They're
not
about to
looking at you at
unleash an ice drake on Grubel's Gulch.
All I do is stare at the little party members pop up and look for who's low on health.
All right, Don Draper.
Yeah.
Okay, we actually do need to go into an ice cave.
I told you it was this one. I knew it.
Is your suggestion here that Don Draper is a healer?
No, my suggestion, it was a reference to the most famous quote in that show, which is that the guy says, "Oh, I bet you feel pretty bad, or you think about me a lot, or whatever." And Don Draper says, "I don't think
Oh,
about you at
right.
all."
Glitch, get a keg. We gotta drop a keg right here and blow this up.
Yeah,
That's how we get to the ice
that's
cave.
yeah. It's the ad copy guy says, "I feel bad for you," and Don says, "I don't think about you at all." Which is
That's
funny
right.
because like
That's right.
that's the episode where he was thinking about that guy so hard.
Yep. It was a good show. Madison and I, my wife and I, are on like season 1, episode 6.
They often do a great thing in that show where somebody will say something and you'll be like, I don't know if I agree with that.
Only once in a while.
Only
Yeah,
once
drop
in a
it, like,
while on a
right
special
here.
occasion.
Oh, you can.
But it's
swap
like the
through.
writer wants you to not agree with it, you know? Like they wrote a whole story
Yep.
which is about why they don't agree with it and why they think it's a dumb thing to think.
Frostfire Drider.
Wow, somebody aggroed that wolf and it wasn't me. I'm surprised.
What the fuck? Why are we obliterating the wolf with a firestorm? What's going on?
I usually am the one who does that, but not today. Oh God, I don't like the way their arms are.
And those
I think
Driders
Dawn
for
Draper
whatever's
would
in
be a
this game.
DPS. I think that basically, like, he'd want to be the guy where, like, look, I do my job, I get in there, I take care of business. As long as everybody else is doing their job, it's like we'll be okay.
I don't know. He definitely has spy vibe.
Is
Of course,
Spy
that's not
ever
really a
a
class.
DPS?
I mean, in TF2, yeah, I think you'd have to conclude that he's the spy.
Was a real giveaway when he started wearing those paper masks.
I mean, he literally is, like, using an assumed identity for pretty much the entirety of that show.
There is an ice drake back here, right? It'd be really awkward if there wasn't. We just decided to kill a bunch of ice spiders for no real reason. Yeah, no, there it is.
The question really is there an Ice Kendrick?
I think basically that the best version of the I don't think about you, I feel bad for you, I don't think about you at all, is an engineer in the first panel and a spy in the second panel.
Okay, this ought to be interesting. Elementalist bosses are always fun and definitely don't tend to just wipe the whole damn party. Well, this is a water boss, so not as big a deal.
Does he have fucking healers? What is going on?
He must be using Aura Restoration. Heals him whenever he casts a spell. Hey, there we go. We killed a random dragon. Actually, how do we feel about drakes? Do they count as dragons or not?
I think I've developed such a idiosyncratic opinion towards dragons
Oh,
after
shit.
too many years of playing games with dragons in them that I can't really relate to almost anybody.
I don't feel like that was an answer to my question.
Well, it's actually like I think that I would get bored of hearing myself talk about this pretty quickly. I just try to make
that
room
our
in my
old
heart
deadly
for any
system?
drakes or dragons I encounter. That's all I do.
As someone who's not well versed in dragon stuff, are drakes not just baby dragons?
It is, so, like, fantasy has a lot of words. When I say fantasy, I mean, like, the fantasy genre
has a lot of
words. The fantasy genre has a lot of words which create distinctions between things which do not naturally have distinctions. Like, which like, takes two terms which refer to either the same thing or, like, refer to rough categories of things, and, like, decides that this thing means that thing and this thing means that thing, so that we have a method of, like, taxonomy for discussing things that don't exist. It's like how Dungeons & Dragons has a ghosts, ghouls, ghasts, specters, wraiths, phantoms, and poltergeists, and they're all fucking different things.
Why are the
Like,
ghosts
so
fucking?
Also, all the various different kinds of demons and devils and such, which were renamed during the Satanic Panic, so now there's multiple different names for them.
Alright, so I think if I hear... I'm not speaking for any of you, so maybe you can, like, compare notes here, but when I hear the word Drake without any other context, in the context of fantasy lizards, my reaction to that word is they're called drakes and not dragons, because the implication is that a drake is not intelligent. Like, a drake is like a kind of scaly reptile
Yeah, a drake is
monster.
an animal. A drake
Like,
is
it's not
an
gonna
animal.
talk to you.
Before this, if you had asked me, my thought would have been that drakes don't have wings and dragons do.
Okay, you know what? I feel like
That's
there's some
also
symmetry
true.
there. If you said one of
I
these
feel
is a
like
drake, one of them's a
wyverns-
dragon, you showed me a winged beast and an unwinged beast, I'd be like, yeah, that one, the left one's the drake and the right one's the dragon.
Chris, you've got white dye here.
God, I fucking hate
I feel
ice
like
elementals.
wyverns are the other end of that spectrum, where they're also not intelligent, but they have wings.
Yeah, I mean, like...
What about worm?
See, I actually associate
slang for
worm, like, obviously with a
dragons.
Y, right?
Yeah, the dragon worm. Yeah.
Like, in D&D, worm is used as a title of respect. Like, if there's age categories for dragons in a particular edition, worm will generally refer to, like, the high-end ones. So, like, the highest age category for, like, several editions in a row, maybe even still, I don't really know how it works these days, because I haven't looked too much into it, is Great Worm. Or, like, that's the oldest kind of dragon there is. And every Great Worm has, like, a difficulty rating which is higher than, like, the base max level for that edition. And so I suppose I would generalize that to worms are powerful dragons.
How do you feel about Tiamat, actual Canaanite goddess of, like, primordial waters and chaos?
So weird
Alright,
to hear
or is it
Tiamat
a Sumerian
after all
or
these
a
years of
Akkadian
not
god? I
thinking
don't
about
remember,
Tiamat. What the fuck?
How do you feel about that mythological character turning into, like, goddess of dragons in the Forgotten Realms?
I like
Which
about
has very
six
little to
things
do
that are
with the historical portfolio of that god.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely didn't realize that that was used in Dungeons & Dragons, because I know it from the historical context, and I have not heard that since college.
The answer to your question, Josh, is that there are about 6 things in the book, deities and demigods, that I have any respect for whatsoever, and that is not one of them.
I don't know who's slowing me down, but I don't fucking like it.
Would be all of the ice versions of your candy corn elemental stuff.
You know what the worst part of, like, the AD&D deities and demigods book is?
What is the worst part?
It's their shitty, mealy-mouthed, like, snotty paragraph where they're like, now, naturally, there are lots of different myths, and all of them, many of them contradict each other. So we have just done the best job that anybody could in reconciling all these different things that people talk about and believe. It's not perfect, but no work of this sort ever could be, because every single time someone says that in an D&D book, it means that they ran out of patience 5 minutes into their library trick, and they're just pulling everything out of their ass.
Yeah.
My problem is not with that disclaimer in concept. My problem is that it never seems like they mean it. It always seems like they're just like, nobody could have done a better job than we did. We did a bad job, but we think we're smarter than everybody else, so logically we must have done the best job possible.
My good and excellent friends.
My good and excellent friends.
Are you guys seeing through me right now?
Good thing we arrived when we did.
I owe you many thanks. I would raise a pint of dwarven ale in your honor, but there is still much work to do.
Well, perhaps when everyone is safely through Borless Pass.
Agreed. But now I must go back and lead our people to Grubel's Gulch.
Josh's character's like, oh, hold on. We can still drink.
Yeah, wait a minute.
You go on ahead.
Grubel's
and clear the
Gulch
way.
is a good
Secure
name.
a shelter for the night, and then we'll see
It's got
about that
some.
ale.
As you
It's got some
wish,
heft
Prince.
in the mouth. You could really
Talk to King Ironhammer. He'll help you garner
fit
safe
yourself
passage
around
into
it.
the gulch. I will see you there.
Gulch. That sounds like a good nickname for a good member of this crew.
I mean, if you want to change from glitch to gulch, we can go for that.
You already called me that.
Thank you for your
Yeah, but not on
We do what
camera.
we can to honor the old
True.
alliances.
Fair enough. Josh, you're interrupting the
Then
cutscene
the
everyone's
Pilgrim
listening
or
to. Shh.
dwarfs will honor them as well. Your prince's
This
request
dude is
for
like taller
passage
than
through the
me.
mountains has been granted. Take this enchanted torch.
I like how
and light
whelmed you
the
are.
beacon outside Grubel's Gulch. My brother, Breknar Ironhammer.
I look
will
like I'm
open
so
the
fucking
gates
high in this
once he
cutscene.
sees the arcane flame. Your people will be
Why
safe
does he
in
have an
the Gulch for
exclamation
the
point
night.
above his head?
Thank you, King
Oh,
Ironhammer.
someone's playing The Sims.
Anything for our friends. Now, waste no more time here. Night will be upon you, and your people.
I like
will
the
freeze in
nice touch
cold
that I am
without
not
shelter.
giving off those puffs of breaths
Follow me to
as
the
canning.
You don't breathe.
Apparently not.